Nah, this ain't nonsense, this is nonfiction. So excuse if the content is offensive, it's official. Now that we have been acquainted, this is my pleasure, my pain, your entertainment.
What's good, everybody? It's your boy Nonpfixion back at you one more time with a brand new reaction, and this time it's for Loki Episode 2 breakdown, Easter eggs, and details you might have missed. Let's say it again. Loki Episode 2 breakdown and Easter eggs and details you may have missed. So, pretty much ERIK, VOSS, and the crew over there at New Rockstar, they break down all of the Marvel product, the movies and TV shows. And what we've been doing is once a week. They have other videos that they do for Loki, but we've been doing the main ones, which are the episode breakdowns. And this, like I said, this is the second one. We're gonna get right into it. Let's not wait any longer, because I have a theory that the Lady Loki that I believe this Lady Loki. Now, because of some other news I've seen, I don't think it's Lady Loki anymore. I think it's Enchantress. So, and it's because of some names that we've seen. Let's get into this and see if they feel the same way. All right, let's get it.
Welcome back to New Rockstars. I'm ERIK, VOSS, and this is a breakdown of Loki Episode 2,
Eric.
which does not bode well for our future, well, that of the Sacred Timeline, or our own coming environmental doom. The extinction of swallows? Are you kidding me? We couldn't save the birds. As always, there were so many hard-to-spot details hidden throughout this episode, so I'm gonna break it down shot by shot for everything you might have missed. Support this channel by checking out our new Loki-inspired merch options like the awesome shirt Loki Out of Time. You can get this at newrockstarsmerch.com. We open on a Renaissance fair in Oshkosh, Wisconsin, 1985. The year time travel fiction really climbed to new popularity with the release of Back to the Future. Notice how as the dates swipe back to that, it looks like the first to swipe past is 2023, telling us that the TVA frame of reference for us is the current MCU present year of 2024. Hunter C20 tracks the Loki variant to this green tent with a golden sign out front for a miniature pony, green and gold of course being Loki's colors, but also coincidentally crossing in front of the temp pad is this blonde woman. Doesn't look like Sophia DiMartino, but they are looking for someone who looks like Loki when they really should be looking for someone who looks like that. So this episode ultimately reveals the variant to be a female, played by Sophia DiMartino, perhaps Lady Loki from the comics, which is a reincarnation of Loki's soul in a new female body. Though, if you look closely to alternate language dubs in the credits, she is credited as Sylvie, which could be for Sylvie Lushton, aka Enchantress. Sylvie is a girl in Broxton, Oklahoma when the Asgardians relocate there, and that same run in the comics. She wakes up with powers, and it's later suggested she might have been wholly created by Loki as a kind of joke. I suspect this show might be combining elements of Sylvie with Lady Loki, but since this show for now considers her to be a Loki variant, I'm just gonna call her Lady Loki here. Bonnie Tyler's 1984 song Holding Out for a Hero is queued up with the recording. Hold on, did Lady Loki take the time to audio edit a recording so that it transitioned on Holding Out for a Hero? Or was Holding Out for a Hero already the music this 1985 Ren Fair had queued up? Either way, this is some real Joker shit that tells us this Lady Loki has a flair for the dramatic and is willing to take her time tinkering with electronics. And the prize being the princess sets up our Loki as the hero we're holding out for, chasing his princess, all while I think the evil is actually something else that could prevail. Lady Loki pairs her consciousness with C20.
Or at least
Quantum Maximov's
the three heads.
A similar look to this with the eyes lighting up. But
I was saying the
same
thing.
Is mind control, something Loki previously could only do with the Mind Stone and the Scepter, but we will soon learn from Mobius that variant Lokis have different powers. The close-up of the temp pad shows icons for Time Door and Miss Minutes. Again, Miss Minutes is a selectable function as she is on the elevator. Maybe at any given moment they can unleash her as a weapon or kind of sound an alarm. Speaking of whom, Loki asks if Miss Minutes is a recording or if she's alive.
Are you recording or are you alive?
Sort of both.
Yeah, he tries to swat her, and the fact that Miss Minutes goes to the effort of dodging these confirms she exists in the real world, reacting moment to moment. And you can hear her shoes making noises.
Watch it, where's your manners? Oh, hey, quit it. That is not nice.
And at one point she stands on the hourglass, which remember is the symbol at the heart of the TVA logo, maybe showing that she could have some authority over the TVA. Like I theorized, she might be linked with the Timekeepers, kind of the way the Kree Supreme Intelligence is a reactive AI that controls that society. Now on the screen is a multiple choice question.
That's
Thanos
interesting.
has two
That's
apples.
interesting.
He eats both, but realizes he wants more. He goes back in time 20 minutes and eats the apples again. Does this mean the apples will not have existed in the timeline he left? A, no, because time is constantly happening. B, the question doesn't matter because a branch cannot change another time branch. Or C, Thanos would have been hungry prior because the grandfather paradox already accounted for the change in matter before its move. Love it. All three options are explanations we have heard in time travel fiction before, like A being our approach, time is just always happening, C being our this always happened approach in which things are what they are meant to be in the future, and B being the correct answer within Loki's logical framework, in which branch timelines cannot affect other branch timelines, they each play out in real time independently. This is actually the point Mobius later corrects Loki on at the fair, and Loki didn't know because he's slacking off here. And I love how it uses rewinding apples, the example Doctor Strange used to display time travel, and reminds us that Thanos died hungry. Also shows that the TVA knows who Thanos is and apparently considered his genocide as part of the sacred timeline. Mobius shows some other Loki variants, including a blue one. Remember, Loki's natural frost giant form is blue skin. He's variant L1247, but when you punch up to close-up, it changes to 6792. And variant L1247 shows Loki as a cyclist having won the Tour de France. Then a beastly Loki who appears to be L6792. A bearded Loki, L8914 with natural black horns. And then a Loki with a more traditional Viking armor, L7803. Mobius says each Loki has a different power set, but all of them seem to have the power of illusion projection. Though Loki corrects him, saying that there's a distinction between illusion projection and duplication casting. Illusion projection being like when Loki projected shape-shifted forms of Cap and Odin over himself, or when he projected Thor's severed arm in the Dark World. Meanwhile, duplication casting being anytime Loki tricked other people with alternate doubles of himself. But this clarification of Loki's power set helps set up Loki's sorcery as far more diverse than we realized. For example, him using telekinesis to summon a Roomba in that ROCKSTARS fight, something I don't think we'd ever previously seen him do. In the Ren Fair, Loki's talking doesn't work on Mobius and the others. They end up using a reset charge on the tent, this time giving us a close-up of it. It looks like the main chamber containing this orange fluid, but then the charge releases an upper chamber of purple fluid that mixes until it reaches a saturation point that releases this rainbowy puddle that resets everything within the radius. It's almost like these are made of specific amounts of matter and antimatter that mix together, and that collision undoes the fabric of the nearby reality. And as we see this branch pruned on the chronomonitor screen, other past branch locations tick past, including Nidavellir, that's the armory realm where Thor met Eitri and acquired Stormbreaker in Infinity War, and Sakaar, that's the trash planet of Ragnarok where Loki, Thor, Banner, and Valkyrie escaped. So even though it seemed like the TVA was Earth-specific from the animation last episode, they actually oversee all the planets in the known MCU universe. Renslayer's office has a statue of Timekeeper Ast centered right behind her seat, just like in the courtroom, and just like in the final shot of the end credits, we now begin in close-up on this one. Also notice that Zorth and Vanth are holding hourglasses, but Ast's arms are outstretched in kind of a saintly pose. Mobius even begins to say something about the odd one out, but Renslayer cuts him off.
Although I shouldn't say that. That one looks like he's got
The Timekeepers are monitoring every aspect of this case.
Yeah, I think these are more clues that this Timekeeper in particular might have a special relationship with Renslayer. Mobius points out other mission trophy artifacts like a snow globe, and you can later see it reads San Diego. Renslayer says,
"You're not the only analyst working for me."
Yeah, Mobius brings up this other analyst a few times, including this pen from Franklin D. Roosevelt High School.
I don't remember this. This must be from that analyst you keep on the side.
Yeah, Mobius seems a bit jealous of this mystery analyst. So let's all keep an eye out for some
He
other
definitely wants to know who it is. You can see that.
Notice how Mobius does not use a coaster, leaving more ring stains on that table. The end credits actually show a ring stain on his chronomonitor handbook. So here's another possible clue. Like maybe the reason Mobius doesn't remember leaving these ring stains is because this other analyst is a variant of him. And just like Loki is one of many Lokis in a box, so is Mobius. He
That's
could be
interesting.
arriving at his own future existential crisis. Notice how Renslayer signs a report R. Slayer, a little tease showing us she's not afraid to get her hands dirty, and Mobius signs MMM since his full name is Mobius M. Mobius. And I love the hallway's labyrinthian design. Like, notice the third corridor is the same set as the first one that they walked down. Like, the set designers just doubled it up, maybe as a way to make Loki seem lost and helpless in the TVA. Now, the elevator's descent was shot in the real-life Atlanta Marriott marquee, but as the camera tilts down, you can see how they actually recomposited the lower levels with those big timekeeper statues and the bookshelves of the TVA archives. Loki reads a report talking about the variant's construction of Central California oil fields. If you look closely, this would be another oil field that she destroyed after that one in Oklahoma last episode. Maybe she genuinely is trying to reverse the impact of climate change. In the background of this library setting, you can actually see the floors behind Loki reading SYF, LK3, 2W1. All of these correspond to floors in the elevator, but one of them is 372,
I caught that too. I caught that.
Thor 372, which is the first comic appearance of the Timekeepers. The librarian shuts Loki down, saying the creation of the TVA, the beginning of time, the end of time, these are all classified. Just another sign that TVA Narrative Commission's video about the history of the Timekeepers may or may not be the full story. So Loki reads the report on the destruction of Asgard, as we saw in Thor Ragnarok. Listed here as a Class 7 apocalypse, total planetary destruction, 9,719 deaths, which would be the entire civilization minus the refugees who escaped on the Statesman. And you can also see codename Revengers, which is the team name that Thor improvised to Valkyrie in Ragnarok.
Codename Revengers.
Yeah, it's called the Revenges.
Revenges?
Because I'm getting revenge. You're getting revenge. And what do you want revenge?
I'm undecided.
But before I continue, thanks to Blue Blocks for sponsoring this video. A long day of staring at screens can be really tough on your eyes. On particularly screen-intense days, I notice my eyes start to feel heavy. I start to have problems sleeping. Blue light damages our eyes and leads to digital eye strain. Symptoms of digital eye strain include blurred vision, headaches, and dry, watery eyes. For some folks, this could even affect your energy level. Well, Blue Blocks was created to fix this problem and block out blue light with high-quality lenses. Blue Blocks are evidence-backed and made under optics laboratory conditions in Australia. They have over 40 styles of frames and come in prescription, non-prescription, and readers, so they have frames for every need. Go to blueblocks.com/newrockstars or click the link below and you will get 20% off your order and get free shipping worldwide on orders over $115. So get your energy back, sleep better, and block out the unhealthy effects of blue light with Blue Blocks. That's BLUBLOX.com.
Go support channel.
Rockstars, or just click the link below. Code automatically applied at checkout for 20% off. Also, from now until June 30th, Blue Blocks is having a special end of the financial year sale where you can get 25% off any orders over $160 and save 30% off any order over $315. And thanks again to Blue Blocks for sponsoring this video. So Loki deduces from lack of variance energy detected that their killer must be hiding in historical apocalypses, which end those societies anyway. Creating this example of ruining Mobius' salad and stealing Casey's Boku fruit juice, kind of like Jasta, another beverage from the 90s that you cannot get anymore. He also mentions maybe pushing Hulk off the Rainbow Bridge, which Bruce Banner very nearly does during that final battle. Loki's mind may also go to that because Hulk having to descend the stairs was what led to Tony fumbling the Tesseract and allowing Loki to escape in a branch timeline. Loki brings up other possible apocalyptic events.
It could be a tidal wave, it could be a meteor, it could be a volcano, a supernova.
Yeah, we actually see two of those huge waves from the hurricane, the volcano Mount Vesuvius. So we may also see a meteor and a supernova as upcoming apocalypses on this show, like that interplanetary calamity teased in trailer footage. So they visit the destruction of Pompeii in 79 AD. You can actually see it written in Roman numerals on the wall there as well. Here, Loki tests creating chaos by releasing these goats.
Be free, my horned friends, be free!
Yeah, Loki calls them his horned friends, referencing his own horns, the horns of all variant Lokis, and foreshadowing the way he will let other horned friends go free. Mobius talks about his love of jet skis.
In the early 1990s, for a brief, shining moment, there was a beautiful union of form and function, which we call the jet ski.
As a Floridian can confirm, jet skis are peak form of transportation. Like you can imagine a rule-confined TVA agent must love the idea of a solo-piloted craft where you can wander freely without any speed limits or traffic lines you have to stay within. If we don't see this man on a jet ski by the end of this series, we will riot. They debate the comparative absurdity of their origin stories. Timekeeper space lizards versus Norse mythology.
And it's real because I believe it's real.
Actually, later Marvel Comics linked the Asgardian mythology with the Celestials by saying Asgardians are aliens in a certain celestial mutation cycle in which the beliefs of those they protect map onto them, in this case, the Norse people of Midgard. Mobius explains that the TVA protects what came before while the Timekeepers untangle the sacred timeline's epilogue from its infinite branches, and that once they're finished,
No more Nexus events, just order, and we meet in peace at the end of time.
this would mean that Nexus events are accidents that only occur because the sacred timeline isn't yet woven tightly enough by the Timekeepers. So they dictate which random strands need to be clipped in order to make the rope that stretches endlessly into the future perfectly tight. And once that process is complete, then they all meet at the end of all time. Mobius remembers that kablooey gum from episode 1.
Kablooey!
You have candy on Asgard?
Yeah, grapes, nuts.
Oh, you're so bitter.
Actually, remember when Loki posed as Ode on Asgard, he snacked on grapes while watching that play. Since that gum was only sold on Earth from 2047 to 2051, they look at various disasters like the climate disaster of 2048, the tsunami of 2051, the 2050 extinction of the swallow, and the 2049 eruption of Krakatoa, which is a volcanic island in Indonesia that erupted in 1883 and apparently will erupt again. Yeah, quite a bleak picture for Earth in the coming 30 years. Can't wait. But they zero in on the ROCKSTARS disaster, Class 10 apocalypse, when a Category 8 hurricane hit Haven Hills, Alabama in 2050. Now the report says entire town annihilated, 10,835 humans dead, but planetary body intact, meaning there are worse calamities coming where the planet will be destroyed, with a reference to another case file presumably describing when that happens. Now Category 8 hurricane is just depressing, since the scale really only goes up to Category 5, meaning future meteorologists must adjust the scale for increasingly powerful storms due to the rise of global ocean temperatures. Now, ROCKSTARS with the two X's is a nod to Roxxon. That's the energy conglomerate of Marvel Comics that has shown up in the background of Iron Man movies. In the future, they apparently build an entire company town with massive Costco-style superstores, because why not branch out into retail, right? By the way, another Marvel corporation, Advanced Idea Mechanics, AIM from Iron Man 3, actually made a little cameo in episode 1 as the maker of that shovel from the year 2222. So Mobius gives Loki back his daggers, which Hunter B-15 immediately confiscates. I love that. Since the camera follows them into the locker room without cutting, they have to time Wunmi's entrance perfectly so that she'll be right there to snatch them a second later. I just love when you can see the effort the actors and the director go into good old-fashioned comedic timing just via blocking. So Haven Hills 2050 is revealed with this electronic billboard of the peaceful seaside town with rocks on smokestacks polluting the sky, which of course leads to the climate disaster that's now consuming it, so that this billboard blows down, revealing its true status right behind, before and after. Beachfront now washed way in, tons of flooding, structures collapsing, buildings exploding.
Yeah, I saw it, but
my favorite
I couldn't see it. I didn't see it
of any
clearly.
Marvel title I can think of, because it's not at all caused by
Or maybe I just
invading
wasn't
alien
focused
threats or
enough.
robots run amok. It's just humanity over time.
I like that scene,
It also
Ultron.
neatly reflects this series' production design of futuristic elements being destructive and toxic and crappy, while the retro design of the TVA seems perpetual, ironclad, clean. I also love the little design details they put into the 2050 ROCKSTARS store, like a holographic greeter in the parking lot, this rolling helper robot, employee badges that light up reading, "Welcome, can I help you?" Also in the break room, there is a poster reading, "A great place to work, a great place to shop, everything you need for happiness." Yikes. That shopper is buying azaleas because of a hurricane sale, meaning that these must be common enough that ROCKSTARS schedules sales events around them. But this guy turns out to be a Lady Loki drone, and he transfers his consciousness to B-15, and then to that employee Randy, and then finally to this Haas. And like C-20, B-15 wakes up from Lady Loki's possession shivering, coming back from some curse that rattled her.
Yeah, I peeped that. I want to know what is
She
what
told
did she
Lady
see?
Loki where the Timekeepers are, meaning that they are probably the true target of this sacred timeline bombing. And finally, the villain reveals her face.
What is this about?
This isn't about
So what's the score?
it is confirmed. Sophia DiMartino is playing a female Loki variant, most likely Lady Loki. Now in the comics, Lady Loki is not really
I think
an
it's Lady
alternate
Loki, but also
timeline
too I
variant,
noticed the
but
hair.
Loki's disembodied
There's no
soul
Loki
after
variant actually has
Ragnarok
blonde hair in the
reincarnated
comics,
into
right?
a female body. However, that still might be the case here, since this Loki can transfer her soul into new bodies. She may just be a human female that Loki's soul decided to stay in. But also notice that one of the horns on her crown is broken off. Could be a nod to Loki's look in Agent of Asgard, or a reflection of how she might not consider herself a true Loki, the way she told Loki not to call her that. She may be someone with a Loki-style curse, but go by Sylvie. Also, she might be telepathic, because as she reveals herself, listen closely. You can hear Tom Hiddleston's voice echoing in that. What is this about?
This isn't about you.
I didn't catch that.
Her words here
Good catch. Good
thoughts.
catch. That's
So
why we pay you
using
big bucks
stolen
there,
reset
boss.
charges and stolen temp pads,
There was
she
so
bombs
many
the
reset
sacred
charges.
timeline, creating branches throughout time and space. Renslayer's screen actually shows a lot of the dates and locations. We gotta break these down.
Okay,
Actually,
let's see
first
the
in the Chrome
locations.
Monitor room, you can see Nowhere. That's a severed celestial head location.
Which is interesting,
in Guardians
like,
of the Galaxy,
Nowhere?
and then
Why would you show
Barcelona,
Nowhere?
and then below Niflheim. That's the Asgardian
Niflheim.
realm that Hela was believed to be exiled in, and then Dartford, England. But then onto Renslayer's screen, you see August 3rd, 1522, Phang Nga, Vietnam. March 31st, 1492, Lisbon, Portugal. Perhaps something related to Columbus's Atlantic voyage that year. April 23rd, 2301, Vormir. Vormir's the resting place of the Soul Stone seen in Infinity War and Endgame. April 23rd was Infinity War's release date in 2018. October 25th, 1551, Thornton, Colorado. November 22nd, 1999, Cookeville, Tennessee. And then February 16th, 2004, Asgard. So the home of Loki and Thor, 8 years or so prior to the events of the first Thor film. October 3rd, 1390, Rome, Italy. I'm
Why
assuming
before?
some kind of
That's-
Vatican
I'm
drama
so
there.
curious. I can't wait
August
to see
13th,
episode 3.
1984, Sakaar, Teo. So
Sakaar.
again, Sakaar from Thor Ragnarok. Teo is the name of its star system. 1984 could have been during the reign of one of those past arena champions that we saw on the outside of the building. February 2nd, 1808, Barikara, Colombia. July 17th, 1700, Porvoo, Finland. December 17th, 1382, Ego, as in Ego the Living Planet, showing that, yeah, this guy was planting seeds around the galaxy for over 700 years before he met Peter's mother. October 13th, 1982, Titan. Titan, of course, the planet Thanos grew up on, and the ruins of which he fought the Avengers upon in Infinity War. 1982 could have been around when Titan came upon environmental ruin that set Thanos on his mission. September 21st, 1947, New York, New York. I was thinking Cap's return date in Endgame, but I think that was confirmed to be 1948. March 1st, 1984, Tokyo. January 3rd, 51 AD, Hala. Hala is the Kree homeworld seen in Captain Marvel. They reached peak evolution years before humanity did, so this could be right in the midst of their advanced race's history. August 2nd, 1999, Kingsport, Tennessee. September 24th, 1001, Xandar. Now, Xandar is the home to the Nova Corps seen in Guardians of the Galaxy. November 23rd, 2005, Beijing. July 18th, 1903, Madrid. And then above the time doors, you can also see Portland in 2004 and Jotunheim. Jotunheim is Loki's home realm, land of the Frost Giants. Now, I plan to dig more into each of these dates and locations because I think Lady Loki might have targeted each of these specifically to alter history. So I'll be digging into that in a separate video coming out tomorrow. We end with Renslayer grabbing her staff, likely realizing that the variant's real plan is to flush out TVA agents, leaving it undefended so that she can get to the Timekeepers. And that's probably where Lady Loki is headed now, with Loki close behind, either to stop her or to join her, but in either case, not
This
according
series
to the
could
script of the
possibly
Sacred Timeline.
possibly
Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at EA
destroying
Voss. Follow New
all
Rockstars.
of the
Subscribe to New
MCU
Rockstars for
timeline.
everything Loki. Thanks
Like,
for watching. Bye.
What in the world are we getting into? Let's go ahead and pause this. Just like he went over and showed all the different locations for the charges, what exactly is this a way for a reset? Like, is this our reset for the MCU? Like, is this an official reset? Because you know it's all in the MCU. It just really depends on what she's trying to do. You know what I'm saying? And I think like what what Eric said in the beginning of the whole video, that she's not Lady Loki, but yet she's in trenches. I after seeing the information about the name and the credits, that's in another language. It's not in the American one. It's in another language. But and then seeing some other things, I was thinking maybe she's the Enchantress. Like, that would make sense. It's still a character from that realm, but also if you guys get a chance, when they look at the name of the variant, her name is the same name, same last name as Loki, right? So that's where you get thrown off. Could it be like his sister? You know what I'm saying? Like, he wouldn't know at this point, if he had one. But could it be his sister, a frost giant sister, who is taking human form and has very similar powers to him? You know what I'm saying? Like, it just adds more questions. And like I said, we can't wait till tomorrow, tomorrow night, Wednesday morning, to see episode 3 of Loki. We will be here live, watching it on Disney Plus, and talking to you guys, those who show up, which I appreciate those who have showed up. We had some really good conversation. The last live stream on last Wednesday morning, man, we talked for like 30 minutes after just different things, but a lot of it dealt with the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Excuse me, but it was a very good live stream. I enjoyed that one. Had a lot of fun. But all these series that they've done on TV so far, they've given you so many twists and turns. You don't know exactly where they're going. Especially I'm feeling like I felt with WandaVision. I know there's an end point. I know there's a climax. I know there's a plot. I want to get there, but I don't want to rush it. So I'm just trying to be along the ride and just enjoy what we have. But at the same time, you try to figure it out because you want to figure it out. You want to be the first to be like, hey, I figured it out. I know. And I'm telling you, I think I'm starting to believe. I'll have more information after next episode, Wednesday morning, but I have a feeling that it may not be who we all thought it was. Could be somebody else, portraying this idea to have them get Loki because they needed Loki. You know what I'm saying? And of course they weren't sure that they would use Loki to try to capture them, but the fact they have, their plan has worked. So I'm like, are they resetting the MCU? And what does that mean? Like, what does that mean for us? I don't know. And I really don't know. How does it affect the future of the MCU, Now seeing and hearing all his explanations, my brain is like, that one meme where guy goes, that's kind of how I feel right now. That's kind of how I feel. Like, oh my god. I'm gonna use that for the thumbnail. Anyways, you guys, I want to say thank you guys for all the love y'all shown me the last 2 months on the different videos, different reactions, all the communication, all the support, all the subscriptions. We have hit that 700 mark, which for those who have been following for quite a while, is taking some time. We were on a nice little roll until a couple of updates and changes. Then a lot of things just slowed down a lot. We were getting the views, but just they weren't transferring over to subscriptions. So if you're watching this and you like what you see and you want to be a part of the family, please hit that subscribe button, as well as notification bell. Join the family, join the fiction gang, fiction fam. We're that gang, we're a family. But I appreciate you guys. I thank you for all you've ever done. Thank you guys so much. Hope you have a wonderful day, night, evening, morning, noon, wherever you are in the world today. My name is Nonpfixion, and I hope I catch you right back here on the next one in the chat. If you made it this far, give me some, If you made it this far, post a green heart. Post some green hearts. I just want to see if people get this far. We're going to work on it. It's a long video, so if you haven't, I understand this is a long video. But appreciate you. Love you. I'm going to catch you on the next one. All right, y'all. I'm out.